Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about accepting change and noticing the smaller changes that happen and occur in our daily lives, because when we try to manifest something or we want to manifest something, we instantly enter a transition stage. And a lot of people don't notice that as it is, but pay too much attention to the bigger picture to the point that they do not notice the little changes. And now you may believe in like synchronicities and all of that, and I definitely do. So even with synchronicities, it's quite common that it will show things like, the ending and the beginning of a new cycle, the ending of a toxic cycle and the beginning of a positive one. And or discovering something new that's going to benefit you. Like it can just be the smallest of things, or new news is coming to you. But at the end of the day, I was really stubborn coming into spirituality, and that's because our negative emotions can immediately block our access to become aware, because we constantly want to point fingers at everything. So we don't instantly notice these things, and we kind of refuse to acknowledge them, let alone notice them, because we try to pretend like they're not even there, or like they're just bullshit, because we're not ready to forgive ourselves or anyone else. And a lot of this does stem from blaming other people, and I know why people could do that. It is a habit, but you have to start breaking it. It's only toxic to you. It doesn't matter what you think of them. Whatever you think of them is reflecting back to you. That's all inner work that you're not acknowledging. No matter what someone does to you, it is your responsibility to take responsibility for how you feel. They cannot control how you feel. You do. So you need to step up and take action on the things that you're thinking and feeling all the time. And it's not bad to be upset. You can be upset. It doesn't matter if you choose to be upset. It's okay to be upset for a little while, but do not obsess over it, because anything you obsess over grows drastically. And that's what you start to see and think about, because even with like mental health issues like depression and bipolar, those are just things that become addictive habits, and they become very instant in our brain's thought process, but we are not trained to acknowledge them like that. We are not trained to actually look inward to what's actually happening. We are just told that this is wrong with us, so we need medication for it. But and no, I will never side with medication. I will never side with that. Mental health cannot be solved. I don't care how the fuck it came into someone's life. Shit can always fucking change. Even being born schizophrenic, I've never told many people ever, because I knew what would happen to me. People would try to force pills down my throat, or I would be in a mental facility, whatever. You know what? It's almost fucking gone. It is a speck of fucking dust, and it is almost fucking gone. So, and same with all my other mental health issues. Like, it is 100% possible to get rid of anything, only if you believe you can. There are some things out there that, unfortunately, like blindness or being deaf, that can sometimes be fixed or reversed in some cases, very rare cases, like, surgery, or I don't even know what those things are called, but like they make them for your ears, and sometimes they help you hear. But in lots of cases, those things can't be reversed. And so, I do think about those things when I do say these things. That's why I just explained that. But, other than those things, everything can be solved. Nothing is permanent. If anything that is permanent, you choose to be permanent, right? You choose to not move away from. And so when change is occurring in our life and we're looking at the bigger picture too much, we're not seeing the smaller changes. So we think that whatever it is just not working out, but really we are receiving these signs that it is working out. Synchronicities or not, we are seeing this progression that it is working out. But if we do not pay attention to the smaller signs, we will never notice that, right? And like I said, I was like that for the longest time. I was a very stubborn person in spirituality, just getting into spirituality, because I didn't want to take responsibility for my emotions. I wanted to constantly blame it on everyone else. And that can still happen, because again, they are obsessive thought patterns. They are obsessive behaviors that we create. We adapt to our surroundings, and that's what gets created for those things. That's what creates those thought patterns. That's what creates our behavior. That's what shapes us. So if we do not leave that environment, good or bad, it's going to affect how we are. If it's a good environment, though, it's obviously going to be very, very healthy for you, and you should not leave it. But if it's a negative environment, you should leave it, and it is going to affect your behavior and your mental health so much. I cannot even express it enough. So when it comes to change, you need to notice these signs, because it will give you the hope to carry on with your goals and keep trying to achieve them or working towards achieving them. And eventually, I don't even believe in failure. I will believe in failure if someone gives up, because there really is only succeeding or giving up. Period. End of story. And so when you are working towards change, don't look so much at the bigger picture all the time. Look at the smaller things too, because the smaller things are going to happen before the bigger things. Because there are things, whether we like it or not, that we do need to acknowledge and face before we can have what we want. And that works because if we are not properly formed and, energetically aligned with our goals, what happens is that we are going to end up pushing our goals away or running away from our goals. Either way, it's not going to end up working out for us until we are ready for that in our lives. And even if you feel ready right now, you may not be, and you need to accept that. You need to accept that there is still things that you need to learn, that you need to experience to understand before you get what you want. Like even just, again, blame is a big one. We all want to play the blame game on each other. That blocks your alignment with your goals drastically. Because that's basically giving people your power, giving people your energy. And so when you sit there and dwell on a situation or dwell on someone, make a big deal about it, regardless of what it is, you're going to give it that much value. And being said, you're going to take your own energy and your own power away from the things that you are actually trying to manifest in your life. And so there are things that we do need to work on first, and that's something that we just have to accept because it's always gonna be there. It's always going to exist. We're constantly evolving, we're constantly learning and growing and achieving new things. So we need to focus on the things that we do want to achieve and not things from the past, because the past is not going to create anything but what you want it to in the future. And whether you don't want it to, that's where awareness comes in, because if you don't want it to, but you obsess over it, you're going to create it in the future, right? It's just going to constantly bother you. That's why some thoughts get so strong, because we give it basically a name. It's what I call it. We give it a name. And if you give something a name, in other words, a label could be another term to use for that. If you give it a label, or in other words, a name, you are giving it value. You are, again, giving it validation to be in your life. And so it has no reason to leave, because now you're saying it has value to you, right? Whether that be good or bad value, you're saying it has value and there's room for it to live inside of you. So that is commitment to good or bad things. And so when you do want to change those things, you do have to commit to them, because it is definitely a process, and it is going to help you manifest things faster, or it could make everything go slower if you do not choose to acknowledge those things and change those things or face those things. It can happen however you want it to happen. People even say that manifestation takes a long time, but sometimes a short time for people. And it has nothing to do with luck. It has to do with how much you're willing to cooperate. Any realistic video that talks about manifestation in 24 hours or less, literally, you have to sacrifice so much, and that's unrealistic for the average person. You can try, but especially if you play the blame game a lot, that is number one. That is number one of what is going to block you. But it is very, very hard to just wipe away your negative emotions, wipe away the obsessive behaviors. Like, it's a process. So try and do that in 24 hours. It's kind of unrealistic, but it's not impossible either. It's just believing that it's not possible that's going to make it impossible for you, right? That's how all this stuff works. You have to believe or it's not going to work. You have to put in the effort or it's not going to work, right? You can't just sit there thinking your negative thoughts and actually intentionally manifest good things into your life. Especially if you're acting on negative things, negativity is only going to come your way and you're not going to like it, and then you're going to complain about it, and then you're just going to attract more negativity. So really no point in that. But I kind of got a bit random in this video. I feel like I'm probably going to rewatch this later and just think that I'm overreacting right now, because I probably am. It probably all made sense, and I really hope it all made sense for you guys. But I just feel like I never really talked enough about, change and all of that. Like, I don't feel like I talked enough about noticing smaller changes. But I feel like it's just such little things to say that's why it feels like I haven't made the progress in this video. So, anyways, I do hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to go do a video on my vlog channel. And if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos. And as always, I will link my vlog channel in the description below this video.